Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Season 4 of The Handmaid's Tale. And I guess my feelings on this show, I think it's had some great moments. It's, up to this point, has been really, really strong. Except in the third season, I started getting the feeling like, where's this going? Are we going to be progressing to somewhere soon? And after a while, it just kind of felt like, are we? And then we come into this fourth season, and the last season ended in a big way, with this plane going off to Canada with all these children, and you have June, who didn't get on the plane, still trying to get her original child, who's now been living in with these other people for all this time, and this season feels like it's spinning wheels. For a 10-episode season, that's really an issue. And how this all sets up, it's like, I swear, like the first 6-7 episodes of this season feels really repetitive of June getting to this place. Are we going to Canada? Are we staying here? Are we going to Canada? Are we staying here? And I do have to admit, early in the season, they make some really bold choices with what they do with some of the characters that adds like some big emotional impact. You get to see an interesting side of Janine, played by Madeline Brewer. You get to spend a little bit more time with Aunt Lydia, played by Ann Dowd, who's great. And you get to see a little bit more of her, and you have Joseph Fiennes and Yvonne Strahovski as Serena and Fred, and they're incarcerated in Canada, and it's just like, are they gonna flip? Are they gonna try to defend themselves? What's gonna happen here? Are they gonna combine forces? And the big crux of this season is like, June's spiraling. She's going to some dark places. This season finds her in some very dark places. And it does make for some very interesting television. Her reaction to, like, moving on from this, because it seems like a lot of the people in Canada, their perspective is just to move on with their lives and put that stuff behind them, but not June. June wants to burn this place down, and she's like on Al Pacino's Scent of a Woman, burn this place down with a flamethrower! Like level of energy at this point in the season, which the last episode of the season builds to a fever pitch of this descent that June's going on, and bam, does it hit impactfully and shockingly and brutally. And it leaves you sitting at the end of this last episode like, dang, I think this is really progressing. And, like, to be honest, for me, I wish the fifth season's going to be the last. I really hope they announce that, because I feel like this show's kind of run its course a bit, and, like, it really needs to, like, get to the point. And it makes me hopeful how the season ended, because it feels like it's taking those big steps there. And, like, this is kind of turning into, like, Hunger Games, where it's, like, June's basically Katniss and, like, trying to take down this whole entire society, and like, at this point, she has the will to do it. And it's complicated because she has this relationship with her husband and relationship with her fellow handmaids who are now free in Canada, and how each of them are dealing with things, because you have Alexis Bledel, who's really shaken from all the things she's been through, and you have Samira Wiley, who's been through a lot of things. And one of my favorite recurring characters in this show is Commander Lawrence, and Bradley Whitford's great. And every time he pops in, he has some great moments in this last episode of the season. But where the last couple episodes really grabbed me, the first, like, 7 episodes just felt like they were spinning, and I'm just like, where's this show going? And it was becoming increasingly more frustrating. So where this season is definitely a step down from the previous ones, because it just feels like it's dragging itself, it does come to a really impressive and impactful finale in the last couple episodes, opening things up in very interesting ways and challenging the audience to on how they feel about June and how far June will go. And it's quite out there how far she'll go, and you'll have to find out by watching the 4th season. But I feel like I'm at the point where it's like, if they announce the 5th season is the last one, that'll make me happy and I'll be excited going into it. If they announce it's like just another season, I'm like, my God. And if there's a chance for a 6th or a 7th or 8th, I'd just be like, this show needs to wrap the story up because it feels like it's losing narrative momentum. And it leaves some big questions. Will she get her daughter? Will she work things out with her husband? Should she really be winding up with Nick, played by Max Minghella? And I'm just like, I don't know. They feel pretty saucy, the two of them together. There's some real spark there. Is there really a spark between her and her husband? And there's a lot going on here. And they introduced a new character in this season, and I'm blanking on the young actress, McKenna Grace, who's growing up, and I'm like, no, I don't like this. And like, they add these characters and extra stuff, and it's just like, let's get to the point. And it's becoming increasingly more political and frustrating, because it's like thinking about all kinds of things and how way too close for comfort some of this stuff is to real life. But it's impactful in that way. And I feel like this show, like I said, if it starts to really clear up where it's going, I think has potential to really wrap up in an impactful way. If this continues to keep dragging like most of this season was, I'm definitely going to start losing interest. But overall, I appreciated the 4th season. It was by far my least favorite, but boy, did it wrap things up in a pretty impactful and interesting way. But those are my thoughts on season 4 of The Handmaid's Tale. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.